Okay, so in this video, I brought in a JPEG photo to edit. I showed you how to do RAW last time. That's something that, everybody's really excited about, to be able to do RAW, but this is a beginner's guide. Not everybody does RAW, and this is kind of how you would go about enhancing photos that are JPEGs and stuff. So when you bring it in, it's just going to load like this, it's just going to show up. What we're going to want to do is we're then going to want to go to the develop persona. And now, as you'll see, it kind of looks the same as what we were looking at in the raw. And it basically is the same. However, you do get more depth and you're going to get more color and stuff out of raw, but it's still going to work really good with JPEGs. And to a beginner, you wouldn't notice. You're not going to notice a lot of stuff, but definitely professionals are going to notice the extra quality you get out of RAWs. However, let's go in and just kind of develop this. So we want to do kind of the same thing here. We want to go in and get our white balance. So this picture's a little bit harder to find white, but we do have black here. And there we go. And as you can see, that just brightened it up, kind of got the colors right. So let's kind of go exposure. Actually, exposure's not too bad. Let's get the black point and the brightness. Bring the clarity. You don't usually want to do clarity too much on females, but pump it up a little bit. And the vibrance is really what's going to bring this photo out a lot. The highlights can crank up a little bit. And the shadows are going to kind of drop down. Okay, and a lot of these other things we don't really need. I mean, I can sharpen it a little bit. And like I said, I don't personally like doing curves in this part. Let's go back to the split and we can kind of look. So we brought in a lot of color and got the colors set here. So let's go ahead and develop this. Now, this is going to kind of re-rasterize it. So you can go back to that persona, but you're not going to be able to undo the changes you made. That's why I don't like to do curves there. Let me show you how I'd like to do curves. I like to just make a new layer for the curves. And the curves are going to be in adjustments. And so this is the master curves. And curves themselves, I'm going to have to do a video themselves on. It's a little bit more of an advanced thing, but in a nutshell, curves are basically, if you're a fan of Instagram and clicking through all the little Instagram filters, basically that's kind of playing with curves. And you can kind of go through all the colors and crunch them down. So here we're going to go to the red. We're going to crunch the highs and the lows. And then we're gonna skip green and go to blue. And we're gonna kind of crunch these. Then we're gonna go back to green. Now this is just kind of a formula I'm doing. I'm not really explaining it too good. I am gonna go through and do an explanation of curves better in a future video. But for now, I just kind of want to show you, and then this is kind of how you would fade. Instagram does that little fade thing. But this is kind of how you would go through and develop your photo the way you want it. Here now we can turn that layer on and off and see that we added kind of just a different color effect to it. Other things we can do, we can go back to this picture and let's go to the Inpainting brush, because you're always going to have, oops, it's down here. you know, you're always going to have somebody in the background that you just want to get rid of. And the inpainting brush makes that really easy. We're going to paint over this guy. And once you let go, it's going to do its little thing. And it looks like we're going to have to go over that one more time because it was too close to the girl and it copied her. And that gets rid of a lot of it, and then we can just kind of clean up some of that. But that's basically what we're going to be doing here. We can really get in even and get rid of some more of these blemishes. Like there's this weird thing in her eye. Go in to touch up some of her blemishes. You know, the inpainting brush is definitely a really powerful feature, and definitely good for this part of the process. But as you can see, I just kind of wanted to show you the basics because this is still basics, but you would bring your photo in, you could add different adjustment layers, and then you could go ahead and do edits like that. So that's the basics of bringing in pictures and editing them. We're going to move on, and we're going to do kind of a quick little project, and that should kind of wrap up the basics tutorial here.